Good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight on KUTV's News at 9. You are just in time. Let's begin with the highlights. President William Ruto meets with various Africa head of states in Beijing, China, with the president drumming up support for Raila Odinga's African Union chairmanship bid. Auditor General Nancy Gathungu appears before Senate, says that counties should only have a maximum of 10 bank accounts to simplify tracking of revenue and expenditures. Leonard Kulal appeals his conviction in the 83.4 million graft case, arguing that the magistrate failed to properly analyze the evidence. One person confirmed dead following heavy rains in Nakuru as sinkholes form near the Nairobi-Eldoret highway.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
That's right. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Lucy Kiarie. Now remember, this bulletin is streaming live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya, or engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Kemuma_Monari. President William Ruto on Wednesday met with various African heads of state in Beijing, China, a meeting where the head of state drummed up support for Raila Odinga's Africa Union chairmanship bid, while expressing Kenya's commitment to enhance bilateral relations with other African nations for the mutual benefit of citizens.
The 9th Forum on China-African Cooperation Summit officially began today in Beijing, with President Ruto among the African head of state in attendance. Ruto met with his counterpart presidents Faure Eswazina of Togo, Paul Kagame of Rwanda, Emaro Sissoco Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, Mahamat Idris Deby of Chad, and Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia. During the meeting, President Ruto expressed Kenya's commitment to enhance bilateral relations with these nations for the mutual benefit of her citizens. Ruto said Kenya will explore opportunities for increased diplomatic, trade, and people-to-people ties with countries in the continent to enhance inter-African interactions and business. Ruto further drummed up support for Mr. Odinga's candidature for the position of the African Union Commission chairperson, pitting Raila as an accomplished Pan-Africanist, a champion of integrated infrastructure, and one committed to peace and security in the continent. Ruto calls for support comes as African nations continue to seek stronger unity and collaboration on the international stage, with the meeting in Beijing marking an important step towards achieving these goals. Diana Nashipai, KUTV.
Now, the Auditor General Nancy Gathungu now says that counties should only have a maximum of 10 bank accounts to simplify tracking of revenue and expenditures. Gathungu, while appearing before the Senate Committee on Public Investment and Expenditure, also outlined the delays in providing important financial records and documents create additional challenges during audits and in preparing their reports.
Appearing before the Senate Committee on Public Investment regarding county public investment, Auditor General Nancy Gathungu has criticized the practice of counties using multiple accounts, stating that it complicates financial accountability. Gathungu has emphasized the need for counties to reduce the number of accounts they handle, suggesting that 1 or 2 accounts for revenue and expenditures would be sufficient.
Chair, honorable members, there are specific audit procedures for bank and cash cash and bank audit or balances. So these take care of all those bank accounts. We look at reconciliations. We do third-party confirmations, sometimes on bank certificates. We look at the bank statements, and then we follow through on the expenditures from those accounts. And that's why you find I raise issues on commingling of funds, or the accounts not being utilized for the specific purpose, or sometimes you'll find a dormant account.
Gathungu also explained that the audit process includes special procedures such as reviewing reconciliations, verifying certificates with other involved parties, checking bank statements, and monitoring expenditures from accounts. She stressed the importance of counties reducing the number of accounts to make the audit process easier.
But more than 10, it's too much. So 300 don't make sense to me, or even 200. And we have data on that, and I think in one of my summary reports I did issue. They do not need. Even reconciliations are never done. There's commingling of funds because a fund is set up for a specific purpose. When they run out of funds in a certain area, now they go and withdraw from that particular fund. So there's commingling, misallocations, reallocations, and even the financial statements. I end up querying most of those financial statements.
Gathungu also highlighted the issue of duplication of funds, where similar funds exist at both national and county levels, particularly in sectors such as agriculture and education. She further pointed out the issue of education bursaries, stating that counties often provide subsidies to secondary school students, which according to her should be managed at the national level.
Sooner than later, we'll have more funds in this country that are running operations of departments of counties. So you'll have a fund for agriculture and you have the department for agriculture. You have a fund for gender and you have a department for gender. Then you have duplication of funds at the national level, also at the county level. You've seen counties now have established bursaries. And they're giving bursaries to secondary schools, and I thought secondary schools education is under national government. So now you have a problem. And I'm very glad that we're having a national conversation now on affordable.
With the Auditor General appearing before the Senate, Kenyans are hoping that counties will be responsible in management of public funds. Dennis Munyi, KUTV.
Now, former Samburu Governor Moses Lennon Kulal has appealed his conviction and sentencing in the 83.4 million graft case. He argues that the magistrate failed to properly analyze the evidence leading to his conviction for corruptly enriching himself through his company, Oryx Service Station. Lennon Kulal was found guilty of supplying fuel to the county government from 2014 to 2019, resulting in an 85.4 million shillings fine or 8 years in prison. He now seeks the court to overturn the lower court's decision. The body of a 29-year-old teacher, Nicholas Kipkorir, who went missing 17 days ago, has been retrieved from River Yala. Post-mortem conducted on the body indicate that the deceased did not die through drowning but was killed somewhere else and the body dumped into the river. Human rights activists are now calling on the government to put an end to dumping of bodies in River Yala.
The family of 29-year-old Nicholas Kipkorir, a teacher from Emalindi Girls High School in Kakamega County, has been left in shock after the body of their kin was discovered in River Yala 17 days since his disappearance, marking yet another harrowing case of bodies being dumped in the river. Human rights activists say that post-mortem examination revealed that Ngetich did not drown but was likely abducted and murdered before his body was dumped in the river. Odur highlighted that despite years of reports, little has been done to secure the riverbanks and prevent further tragedies.
The guy was adopted and also murdered before he was dumped at River Yala. So my message to the government, also to the county, security agencies in Sia County, we are saying that a time has come that make sure that the security of the people around Riala, and also to come out very clearly to tell us what is happening here and there again, because we are seeing many of the bodies which are being found in River Yala.
Relatives to the deceased say that their 17-day search for their kin ended when they went to Siaya County Referral Hospital mortuary after seeing a video of a body being retrieved from River Yala in a social media platform.
We learned of the boy through social media, and as relatives we are so saddened, and we are appealing to the authorities, especially the security, to beef up, especially around the school and also around Rivayala.
Ngetich is said to have left his home in Kurasoi South on August 10, 2024, but never made it to his workstation where he had worked for close to 4 years.
At the time of his disappearance, and he made to the compound where he was residing. But unfortunately, the discovery made in the morning is that he didn't make it to his house. What was discovered was his bag, which he carried along from home, and his phone and wallet found at a separate place in the same compound. So this suggests probably that this person who left involuntarily.
This tragic incident is not an isolated one, as numerous bodies have been found in Rivayala over the years. The family of the deceased is demanding justice as they struggle to come to terms with the loss of a young life full of promise who will be buried on Thursday. Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Heavy rainfall experienced in Nakuru yesterday night has caused structural damage in several parts of the county and development of fissures beside the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. One motorist has been confirmed dead after being swept by floods from the heavy rains. The Met Department now warns of above average rains to be experienced in several parts of the country.
Heavy rains witnessed in Nakuru yesterday night has caused fissures and fault lines in several parts of the county, including the Nakuru-Eldoret highway at Everready area, raising concerns about the safety of the said road. One motorist was also confirmed dead after being swept by the floods. This is not the first time the incident is being witnessed in Nakuru. In the last 3 months, a similar situation was witnessed in Ngata, Nakuru West and Gilgil. The Kenya Meteorological Department now warns of above average rainfall in Central Highlands, Western Kenya, Rift Valley, Lake Victoria Basin and the coast. Nakuru Deputy Commissioner Omar Ali assured residents of their safety, affirmed that the administration is involving experts to assess the situation. Omar further urged the residents to exercise caution in such times and to report any emergency cases. Collins Wekesa, KUTV.
Now that report by Collins Wekesa takes us to our first break here on KUTV's News at 9. Remember to engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Kemuma_Munari. I'll be right back.
Maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland, and I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
Welcome back. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Lucy Carrier. We'll continue. Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza has vowed to engage with the Council of Governors and implement the return to work formula within the stipulated timelines to avert any further strikes by county government health workers. Jasmine Opio has more.
In a meeting with the Council of Governors Health Committee Chairpersons Governor Muthoni Njuki, Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza has affirmed that her ministry is working to ensure that health workers do not return to the streets through the implementation of the return to work formula that was signed recently.
For the strike, we are prepared by saying that we are working on it, on the CBA, and especially on the resources. Upon discussion with my peers, I believe that there's a lot that is going on, and within the given time period, July to July, I believe that we'll be able to sort out that concern.
The Council of Governors Health Committee Chairperson Muthoni Njuki, on his end, called upon the ministry to create better working relations with the devolved units to enable them work together and ratify the alarming issue.
Resources are still available for that collective bargaining agreement and what was agreed upon as the return to work. As the ministry, CS, this should be one of your biggest tasks and the first one as a priority to address that issue. The teachers are just off the streets yesterday. We do not want to have others on the street, and especially not on the health space.
As this unfolds, doctors, clinical officers, and nurses in Kisii County have threatened to down their tools of work over the non-implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the devolved unit and have given the county government a 14 days notice to give in to their remuneration demands.
They're giving actually the county government of Kisii a notice of 14 days. Kindly honor the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the nurses, honor the return to work formulas of the doctors and clinical officers. So kindly, for the next 14 days, do that. If you can't do that, we'll be back to where we were. And as healthcare workers, we don't fear striking. It's more of daring a fish swimming in water. So we are ready for that after 14 days. Please honor those agreements we agreed upon a while back.
The medical practitioners, while criticizing the dismissal of nurses from the service for exercising their constitutional rights, called upon the county governments to bridge the current deficit of nurses due to exit for greener pastures.
Saying, for clinical officers, we want promotions and redesignation immediately. How do you expect these people to live? Minus salaries. You don't remit the statutory deductions. Loans are accumulating interests. NHIF or the pregnant cover that the county procured is not working. It is only working in KTRH.
With the health ministry's commitment to avert the looming strike, health workers are hoping that a solution for their demand is addressed for them to be comfortable and provide better health services. Bennett, Jasmine, KUTV.
To international news, after the bodies of 6 slain Israeli hostages were found in a tunnel in southern Gaza, Israelis have reacted with shock and anger. Some blame the Israeli government for not reaching a ceasefire deal with Hamas earlier. Israel's largest labor union announced a general strike starting Monday.
Just days after their families screamed to the hostages on loudspeakers at the Israeli-Gaza border, the Israeli army announced that 6 hostages were found in a tunnel in southern Gaza. The murdered hostages included Hirsch Goldberg Poland, a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen.
They were cruelly murdered by Hamas terrorists shortly before we reached them. They were abducted alive on the morning of October 7th by the Hamas terror organization. Their bodies were found during combat in Rafah in an underground tunnel, approximately 1 kilometer from the tunnel from which we rescued Farhan al-Qadi a few days ago.
The Israeli press says that rescue may have provoked Hamas to kill the 6 hostages, fearing the Israeli soldiers were getting closer. It was also reported that 3 of the 6 killed were set to be released on humanitarian grounds in the first stage of a ceasefire, including Goldberg Poland and 2 women. In mass demonstrations around the country, protesters say the government is sabotaging a hostage release deal in favor of maintaining a military presence along the Gaza-Egypt border. This policy decision was confirmed by government cabinet ministers a few days ago, and according to Israeli press reports, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that their decision likely meant the collapse of negotiations over a hostage deal. But after the killing of the 6 hostages, Netanyahu blamed Hamas for the lack of any hostage deal.
These days, while Israel is conducting intensive negotiations with the mediators and a supreme effort to reach a deal, Hamas continues to firmly refuse any proposal. Whoever murders abductees does not want a deal.
Polls show a majority of the Israeli public supports a ceasefire deal as the only way to release the hostages, even if it means that Hamas is not completely destroyed, according to Gershon Baskin, a longtime Israeli negotiator with Hamas.
The military pressure does not release hostages. 8 hostages were rescued in military operations. There are still 101 hostages in Gaza. If something is learned from what we learned last night when these hostages' bodies were found, is that military pressure will not save them. Military pressure will kill them.
Amid national mourning for the 6 young hostages, Israelis have gone into the streets in mass demonstrations against Netanyahu's military policy and are holding a 1-day general strike Monday. Linda Gradstein for VOA News, Jerusalem.
Presidential nominees Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are campaigning on the economy and preparing for the first debate. VOA correspondent T. Scott Stans looks at the race.
Donald Trump is campaigning hard on the economy and on Kamala Harris.
Here's what we know about Comrade Kamala Harris. She just doesn't care about the American people, especially hardworking people or middle-class Americans. She just doesn't give a damn about you.
The Harris campaign says it's Trump who'll hurt working families with tax cuts for corporations.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators.
The economy is voters' top issue in this election. That's a problem Harris needs to fix quickly, says political consultant Hank Scheinkopf.
She's got to explain why people are paying what they think is more at the gas pump and why their bread costs as much as it does and why the manufacturers of those products are giving them less for their dollar.
Trump running mate J.D. Vance says voting for Harris means losing more U.S. jobs.
Think of all the powerful interests, the broken bureaucracy in this country, the people who've gotten rich shipping your jobs to China. They want Kamala Harris. The only way to beat him and the only way to fight back is at the ballot box this November.
Harris's running mate Tim Walz says it's Democrats who are committed to U.S. workers.
Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they have something a little different in mind. The only thing these guys know about working people is how to take advantage of them, how to not pay them. Every single chance they've gotten, they've waged a war on workers and the ability to collectively bargain.
With just over 2 months to go, this is a close race. Most public opinion polls show Harris with a slight lead over Trump nationally. Michigan voter David Martinez backs Trump.
He's a true American patriot. I think that he thinks more about people that live in this country than he does himself. Everything that he does is to try to help somebody.
Georgia voter Becca Rush backs Harris.
You know, it's 2024, and we need some fresh blood, and we need a new brighter future.
While continuing to campaign, Trump and Harris will spend much of the next week preparing.
And Samson Oyuka, a final year law student at Kenyatta University, rescued Kenya's fortune at the ongoing Paralympics game after claiming a silver medal in the men's long jump. Oyuka produced a jump of 6.20 meters, coming second to Argentina's Brian Lionel, who bagged the gold medal by jumping an incredible 6.42 meters. The medal was Kenya's first field event medal since 2008 Beijing Paralympics, when Mary Nakupincha took silver in javelin F57-58. Kenyan women boxing team led by veteran boxer Elizabeth and Diego are confident of success in the upcoming African Boxing Championships in DRC Congo later next month. The team has been rigorously training at the Madare Depot, focusing on both physical conditioning and technical prowess. The coaching staff, led by head coach David Munuhe, has been working to fine-tune the athletes' skills, ensuring they are in peak form for the upcoming championships. Kenya will be hoping for a successful outing in the Continental Showpiece after missing a spot in the just concluded Paris Olympics. Well, that is all the time we had here on KUTV's News at 9. Many thanks for being with us tonight. I have been Yvonne Kemuma. Our sign language interpreter was Lucy Kiari. Until next time, stay safe.